Hey there, good Tuesday morning. It is very active across the region. We have some locally heavy rainfall this morning. Some areas already up to 2 to 3 inches of rain so far. We put this in motion again, very active around 3, 4 o'clock, and here we are at 7:07 this morning. Some of the heaviest is in portions really getting into Lumberton, into southwest Louisiana and Lake Charles. We'll continue to see if this kind of sinks a little bit further south into portions of Beaumont and the I-10 corridor on the southeast Texas side. Really in the next 30, 45 almost an hour. We'll see how that really kind of shapes up. But you still have lots of rain over there towards Sealy, off towards the west, but we have some pretty active weather going on in portions of the Texas Hill Country out west. Really bad, nasty situation just west of San Antonio, 8 to 10 to some isolated areas, up to 12 inches of rain over there towards Utopia. I mean, people towards the Frio and Guadalupe River really need to stay advised. Parts of the Texas Hill Country and those areas like, again, Frio and Guadalupe River, this is going to be heavy rainfall, a high risk for flash flooding today, tonight, tomorrow. You can see, let me move out of the way. Look how active it is from Del Rio, San Angelo, San Antonio to Houston, Galveston, Beaumont into Baton Rouge. So we are very active, pretty much a highway of corridor or a corridor of heavy rainfall all the way into parts of West Texas into the Hill Country, and true flash flooding is ongoing today for those areas, and it's going to continue thanks to our sponsor of TAMCO showing us what's going on the satellite radar. A very active morning across portions of the state of Texas. Very warm and humid and muggy. We don't see any 80s right now because of the rain that we have ongoing, but pretty much low to mid 70s is what we're seeing all across the board, thanks to our sponsor of Silsby Ford. Get you one. Our outdoor and construction forecast for today is pretty wet, and we're going to see that again tomorrow morning on Wednesday. Pretty much we're having a rain out this morning, and as we get to the afternoon into the early evening, I think that the I-10 area will finally start kind of, I don't want to say drying out, but we'll see the intensity kind of dwindle later this afternoon. The majority of the heaviest is this morning to lunchtime. And then for the lakes region, you're getting rain right now, but I think that you'll still see some moderate to possibly heavy rain even this afternoon. Just saying that the I-10 corridor for Houston, Beaumont, Port Arthur to Lake Charles, your heavy rainfall is now and until at least lunch. And then by this afternoon, we should start kind of transitioning into a more of a moderate to maybe into more of a light rain. Saharan dust is actually in our region now, but we have so much rain and so much moisture, it is mixing all of this out. We're going to continue seeing this dust the rest of the week and really as we get into the weekend. So anybody with upper respiratory issues, definitely know that this Saharan dust is here, just not an issue right now because of all the rain, but we do start drying out really Wednesday afternoon, especially Thursday and Friday. So the Saharan dust is here. This is one of the big reasons that the tropics is very quiet, not only in the tropical Atlantic, but in the Caribbean and also the Gulf. That dry air is making it very hard for any tropical activity, but it's not messing up the forecast on land. That's why you see lots of strong thunderstorms on that satellite imagery there from parts of Del Rio into the Texas Hill Country, especially over portions of southeast Texas into southwest Louisiana, but nothing going on in the tropics the next 5 to 7 days. We'll watch to see if that front sneaks into the Gulf really Sunday into early next week on Monday, but I don't think this just does anything tropical development wise. It'll just keep the rain kind of going on in parts of the deep south like Florida as we get into early next week. High pressure has been in control far towards the north, and that high pressure is actually going to start, on the move. Will be on the move. We looked at Switch Electric forecasts. You can see that we're pretty active today and again on Wednesday in the morning into early afternoon. But watch as high pressure starts building into our region Thursday and Friday. And then we really dry out Thursday and Friday. But let me redo this one more time. I just want to kind of look out there towards west and central Texas Hill Country. Notice that spin. I mean, they just kind of have that same pattern. It just continues to somewhat kind of spin. Lots of rich moisture over there. They're going to have rounds of showers and thunderstorms today, tonight, Wednesday, and even again on Thursday. Just they continue to kind of have some good active weather over there. I mean, they need the rain. They just don't need the flooding. Goodness gracious. But you can see here locally, I mean, we've got the deep tropical moisture now and a little bit Wednesday morning. But as we get into Thursday, especially Friday, and look at this weekend, that gold, yellow, that is extremely dry weather that's moving in. Good time for anybody in the farming department, ranching department. You can definitely cut hay by the time we get to the end of the weekend into the weekend. But the problem is how much rain have you already got like yesterday, today, and Wednesday morning? If you can dry out pasture-wise and you don't have water standing, you actually can cut hay the end of the week, especially this weekend. We will be pretty dry. You can see that on the rainfall outlook, 70 to 80% coverage today, 40 to 50% coverage Wednesday Wednesday morning, Wednesday early afternoon. By Wednesday late afternoon, we really start drying out, and that sticks around the rest of the week and through the weekend. I don't even know if we should have that 10% coverage on Friday, but just showing that we are definitely drying out Thursday through the weekend. Futurecast by Tamco, you can see it is very active across portions of the region, especially from Sealy, Houston, down towards Winnie, High Island, really the I-10 corridor, and even up toward the Lakes region right now. This model data isn't handling the Lakes region very well right now, but you can see very active the rest of the morning off and on for portions of our region. And then by this afternoon, I think we'll still see rain for portions like Houston, Beaumont, Port Arthur. It should transition more so into a moderate to light rain this afternoon. So the heaviest is now until at least lunch. And then areas north of Houston, Beaumont, Lake Charles, north of the I-10 corridor, your rain should still kind of continue this afternoon. And then by this evening and tonight, we lose all of this because we lose the daytime heating. Atmosphere just can't keep up. And then we do it once again once we get into Wednesday morning. So how much rain are we going to see today on Tuesday alone? Today, we've already seen some areas get up to 1 to 2 inches, even some pockets of 3 inches, but we should still see an additional, these isolated areas just today alone, we should see another 1 to 3 inches as possible. Is it possible 4 to 5 inches is possible? Yes, it is, but I would just like to show that an additional 1 to 3 inches is possible for some isolated areas today. A good portion of the region, another 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 an inch is what we're expecting just today alone. Big story, though, is what's happening out in West Texas and the Hill Country. More flash flooding, more heavy rainfall ongoing. They're going to see that they're off and on today, especially tonight, again on Wednesday and Thursday. 5, 10, 15. Some of this model data gets up to 16, 17 inches of rain. Areas like Kerrville, Uvalde, Frio, Guadalupe, your chance for heavy rainfall is today and tomorrow, and this starts shifting closer towards Del Rio and Eagle Pass and in those areas as we get more so into Wednesday evening, Thursday, and into Friday. Just showing that this general region out towards the west, a lot of people are vacationing this time of year, so please let them know that this is a really nasty setup, not only today, but really the next 48 hours. Here we are looking at afternoon high temperatures. Because all the clouds and the rain, we're not seeing any 90s. Really, we're going to be more so into the low to mid 80s all across the board. Thanks to our sponsor of Seals Before. Pretty active morning. And this evening and tonight, it's going to be quiet, but it still will be pretty muggy and sticky. Low to mid 70s north of the I-10 corridor. I-10 corridor down towards the coast. Middle 70s into the low 80s. Like Galveston actually will be near the mid 80s. Thanks again to our sponsor of Seals Before. And here's the light at the end of the tunnel. It is here. Southeast Texas, we've got rain chances right now as you see it on the radar. And you're just, you can go outside. You can see the rain. But we will see it again Wednesday morning into the early afternoon. And then we really dry out and we really heat up low to mid 90s with several areas getting into the upper 90s. Heat index returns Thursday through the weekend. Again, good time to cut hay if your pastures are dry enough from all the rain we get today and again on the first half of Wednesday. Same thing for Southwest Louisiana. We will start seeing that drying pattern really late Wednesday afternoon, but let's just go ahead and say Thursday through the rest of the week and into the weekend, it dries out and it definitely warms up. Good time to go download the free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app, but let's check radar one more time. It is 7:15 this morning. You can see some of the heaviest rain. I don't want to say right on the I-10 corridor, some light to moderate rain, Sealy, Katy, but you can see some very heavy rain from Brenham into the Woodlands, Conroe, and this really is somewhat of a perfect line. This goes all the way into Lumberton. You can see some heavy rain. Was this Kountze as well, too? No, Kountze is just north of it, but some really heavy rain all the way into Lumberton, into Deweyville, Vinton, and Sulphur. Let's put this somewhat in kind of motion because I think this is somewhat kind of sinking southward. So areas like Beaumont, yeah, this is going to get into Beaumont pretty soon, probably in the next 30 to 45 minutes. Areas like China, Nome, Sour Lake, Beaumont, Vidor, Orange, Bridge City, this is all sinking southward, so we're going to continue to keep watching this. More heavy rainfall rates is coming in. I mean, this is probably 2 to 3, if not 4 inch per hour rainfall rate. So this is some pretty heavy rainfall that's ongoing. And again, we put this in motion. This is somewhat kind of moving off towards the east, but still kind of sinking a little bit southeast. So areas like Beaumont, Orange, continue to keep watching this in the next 30 minutes to an hour. This looks to move into your region. So a pretty active morning ongoing, and locally heavy rainfall continues. Again, Isolated areas can get an additional 2 to 4 inches this morning into the early afternoon. So have a good Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to try to have more updates throughout the rest of this morning and really the rest of the day. Go download our free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app so you can track these storms and get all the watches and warnings that you need. Again, have a good Tuesday. Thanks again for tuning in with Gulf Coast Weather Solutions.
Gulf Coast Weather Solutions is sponsored by. Thank you for making Gulf Coast Weather Solutions one of your go-to sources for weather around the clock. From heavy downpours and severe storms to winter weather and the tropics, we've got you covered with accurate, reliable forecasts you can trust.
Next week is starting to look a little bit more stormy.
But look what's moving into the state of Texas.
Gulf Coast Weather Solutions.